So recently, the YouTuber Kwite got cancelled, and his accuser has made a Twitter thread exposing Kwite, saying Kwite did some non-consensual things. Now, for the past 2 weeks, the internet has been on either two sides, and one of them is being the victim's side, and the other one is being Kwite's side. But we're unaware of who really is in the right, and who is in the wrong. Until today, that Kwite finally responded with a video titled, "For the Record," which also happens to be 1.5 hours long. So in case you were really wanting on skipping, rereading 50 Shades of Grey, then continue watching this video. But if you're interested in seeing everything that unfolded in this internet drama and the events that conspired, which you can watch this video right here, which you'll see at the top right here, which is the link to Kwite's full video that he explained himself in. Anyways, here's what Kwite first had to say about this drama.
My response to several allegations made against me, the most serious of which being that I assaulted a former friend and ex-partner of mine named Orion in Orlando, Florida on February 18th, 2018. This is patently false and completely untrue. Not only did I not assault Orion, I never had any contact with him in any way, shape, or form. I have a lot of evidence to share backing what I say in this video, including a recording of Orion giving a testimony of this exact interaction from late 2018 that directly contradicts his current version of events.
It's really hard to tell without being in the exact place or is able to see this happen, but in the case of this in particular, the evidence has just been piling and piling up over the past few weeks, and it seems like Kwite has completely explained himself, as Kwite has come with some really extremely solid evidence that aren't just irrelevant messages, and are in fact audio clips that were able to capture how the accuser was feeling when the incident happened. Now, after seeing the absolute 180 shift in how they acted over these years, it really does actually seem very crazy to me. And keep in mind that the original allegation is that Kwite did not stop during the tango time, and that Kwite also claims that they didn't even do the tango, and that they mostly exchanged was a kiss of all things.
And I have no idea why Orion would this egregiously and ridiculously fabricate a crime of this magnitude. This clip is of Orion describing the same day the assault allegedly took place in a video 4.5 years ago, where he has a very different account of how he felt about that day, even in hindsight looking back at it.
Cut to February, where we met up for the second time, and I remember it was February because we went to see Black Panther. It was fun, and I distinctly remember him getting out of my car, but stopping midway and saying, "Just remember, I really care about you," and then closing the door, which made me feel really good because, you know, this was my best friend. We had met up for the second time. He still cares about me.
Now, wow, made me feel really good. That really sounds like something what a victim would say right there. Someone who definitely got the R word as of recent. But I don't know about you guys, but describing the experience as really good right next to the date that it happened, while also saying that the R worder actually really cares about me, is also a massive red flag. And I'm gonna be completely honest, this just looks like it was extremely sus.
I did kiss Orion once. That's it. That's all we ever did. Immediately after, I was feeling weird about it. I wasn't exactly enthusiastic about the event in the first place, and I didn't want to go any further with it, so we didn't.
Now, Kwite also talks about how in the situation that Kwite actually wasn't the move maker, and that it was actually Orion that consistently wanted to escalate things into maybe something even more. Now, this kind of and this was proved through some of the messages that he shows.
Me anyways. Nah, you can't dodge the smooch. It will find you and it will smooch when you least expect it. There is no dodging, only smooch.
Now, keep in mind this isn't complete proof that Kwite never wanted to escalate things further, but it fits into the way this drama is the long-length film over here, and it definitely adds up. And I'm sure if there weren't messages of Kwite saying that, "Oh, I don't really want to do the tango with you," so much so that I'm sure it would have been included in the original exposing thread. So I'm definitely going off these messages over here, and Kwite does actually seem innocent.
Orion had a disregard for my personal choices and boundaries that I had expressed to them, often persisting beyond me showing clear discomfort and continuing to press even when I had directly declined the physical intimacy he would propose.
Okay, so Kwite is pulling out the Uno reverse card here, and he's basically saying that it's actually Orion who's the one that ignored Kwite's boundaries, and that it ain't just a sweeping turn of events.
Being told over and over again I did the worst version of that to somebody else when I know what it feels like from experience has been soul-crushing.
Now, throughout the rest of this video, Kwite shares a lot of important details regarding his life, notably his face and his past, about actually being a victim of such type of assault, and the most finest details of his relationship's life. He talks about how he struggles about over-escalating to the point because he might be stressed out over something that is might just not be comfortable in those certain situations. I'm most likely certain that this experience has definitely left an effect on him, and he's gonna have a very tough time going forward. My only question regarding this whole situation is that will Orion be going to jail for this or not? Because the damage that they have done to Kwite, it's equivalent to the damage he would have done to them.
I texted him on his phone because I had his phone number, as well as I'd met his parents. I had his address. I have a lot of secrets on him because we were best friends.
This video came off as malicious to me when it was first released and still does now.
So you guys gotta understand one thing. Basically, Orion is the person who has a lot of personal details regarding Kwite. He knows his family's face, his contact info, DMs, and everything. When this relationship didn't work, it was just horrible for Kwite. So Kwite moved on, and the other person, which was obviously Orion, was felt leaving extremely unhappy about the situation. And that after thinking about it over and over for the past 4 years, they decided to finally make an expose.
Taking pictures of my face that he assured me I could trust him with and sharing those pictures with people I don't know is a breach of that trust. And the way he has now used those pictures to dox me and make these kind of false accusations has proved that my initial fears were correct.
Now, I don't think Orion realizes that doxing someone's face, especially a public figure who kept his face a mystery, is like an actual crime, and he can definitely face repercussions for it. Now, of course, that does leave is Kwite actually going to pursue them and take them to court. I'm going to assume no, because it's just a giant waste of time and a giant waste of money, and providing everything will be really hard. But honestly, it is just generally the lowest of the low that Orion could have gone in this whole situation to try and ruin Kwite's career, because he was only comfortable being on the internet as it was, from what it seems like. And as you'll see later on throughout this video, that he even questions if he's going to continue this career on YouTube.
Someone who has not only just gone through the falsely accused side of this, but someone who has also made the same mistake of acting too quickly on allegations and hurting people I cared for because of it. This type of thinking is harmful and needs to stop. It is absolutely a good and noble policy to support victims when they speak. You should support their ability to speak and not ridicule them for speaking, but the saying is trust but verify.
Now, Kwite finally responds to the Slazo drama, which if you guys didn't know, many years ago, a YouTuber named Slazo with about 1 million subscribers was falsely accused of something very similar to this situation by a girl named Shia, and all of Slazo's friends immediately supported the accuser, even helping her write the initial coming out document, consisting of majority of just lies. And some of the people that helped her in writing this expose was infamously called Alex, and who got the brunt of this drama for the most part, and his group of his YouTuber friends, which also just happened to be Kwite. Now, you could argue that Kwite did contribute to Slazo's entire career being ruined, and there was really no compelling evidence suggesting that Slazo did any of what, was said in the document.
It's because I saw Slazo as a friend that how I handled those allegations wasn't good enough. I failed him as a friend by believing what I saw wholesale and not doing the bare minimum of what he deserved, by not even waiting for him to give his side before making a judgment. An event that has now echoed itself in my life. I have felt guilty that he suffered like that, at least in part because of my negligence ever since, and now I can directly relate to him after going through all this shit. I feel like I owe that guy a third apology, and still nothing I do will make up entirely for what I helped put him through.
Now, generally, I do applaud Kwite for addressing the situation, though, as it seems that he was very apologetic about it and that he totally understands, and I think it's time for people to finally forgive him about the whole Slazo drama. I mean, people have been holding this over Kwite's head for so long, and fair enough, it's a very horrible thing to do, and it was very messed up that all of his friends were just telling him to join in on this, and it was a dumb thing to do, and I think he takes responsibility, but nobody really deserves it.
Taking some time off, at least a month. I don't know when or if I'll be back. I'm not entirely sure if this whole thing or the nature of this job is for me anymore. That's all for now.
So it seems Kwite will be taking a break from YouTube, and honestly, I generally do not blame him even if he just completely disappears from the internet as it is. Now, by judging what the comment section was saying after the result of this video that Kwite put out, it has been basically told that basically everybody's neutral about it, which is a good thing. So I feel like if we've learned anything off this whole expose and Kwite's response, is that you should be fair to judge which side you're going to choose on and not just one side over the other. And that's it for today's video. If you found this video very informational and helpful as to knowing what's going on around the internet, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and have a great day and take care.